As Uncle Ben says in Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. This holds true for AI systems, which have the power to make life-altering decisions based on remote inputs and minimal human intervention. But who is responsible when an AI system goes wrong? The easy answer might be the person who created the system, but it's not exactly that simple. Let's look at a real-world example. In 2018, 49-year-old Elaine Herzberg was hit by a self-driving Uber while jaywalking in Arizona and unfortunately passed away from the accident. It was reported that Elaine was walking her bicycle across a 4-lane highway and hadn't been using the crosswalk that was down the road. The vehicle's automatic systems failed to identify her as a pedestrian and her bicycle as a collision danger. Allegedly, Uber had tested their software very quickly. They were warned that the system could falsely detect things or not detect things in the road because of a sensor malfunction. Uber's permit for testing self-driving vehicles also expired in March of 2018, but they chose not to renew it and continued testing until December. Also, the driver of the automatic car, Rafaela Vasquez, had been watching the voice on her phone for the majority of her drive instead of watching the road. If Vasquez had been looking at the road, she would have been able to stop before impact. But who should be held accountable for the death of Elaine Herzberg? To answer this question, we have to consider all the stakeholders. Stakeholders are people with an interest in something that can be either affected by it or affected. For an accident with a self-driving car, some of the stakeholders are the victim, the driver, and the company using or deploying the AI technology. In this case, the first stakeholder is Elaine. It's important to examine her actions because she had crossed the road unsafely and disregarded traffic rules. The second is Uber, who was testing the safety and functioning of their self-driving AI system, which had an automatic sensor malfunction. The third is the driver, who could have contributed to Elaine's death because she was not watching the road. As you can see, we have many different stakeholders who play very different roles in their use or interactions with AI technologies, so determining who is responsible is more complicated than just identifying the person who created the program. There are multiple responsible parties, including designers, programmers, sellers, and marketers of AI products and services. For AI to be ethical, multiple parties must fulfill their ethical obligations. In this case, the driver was actually found responsible. In 2019, Arizona prosecutors ruled that Uber was not criminally responsible for the crash, and instead, the backup driver was charged with negligent homicide. This was the first death on record involving a self-driving car, and afterwards, Uber ended its use of the technology in Arizona. Accountability deals with questions of responsibility when it comes to AI technologies. Accountability in AI means that every person involved in the life cycle of AI technologies is responsible for its moral or legal impact. Designers and developers of AI systems should comply with legal standards and take responsibility for any unfair consequences that might arise due to their technology. Accountability also ensures that deployed systems uphold the ethics pillars we talked about, so that the technology is fair, transparent, explainable, and protects the privacy of its users. Companies like Uber must be responsible in their use of AI so they can scale the technology with confidence. So not only can this help users, it's also in the best interest of the companies that are deploying the technology. Responsible AI is the practice of designing, developing, and deploying AI with good intention to fairly impact customers and society, both from a legal and ethical point of view. One way companies can start doing this is by developing some sort of code of ethics. This can help them set legal and ethical standards on how to handle case-by-case scenarios of AI technologies going wrong. One of the biggest examples of responsible AI is with Microsoft. Microsoft has an Office of Responsible AI, which is tasked with creating rules and principles to govern the company's AI initiatives. The team at this office even uses a role-playing game called Judgment Call. This helps designers envision potential harms that could result from AI and address them during product development. AI is redefining how we work, communicate, and engage with the world. Despite its game-changing potential, the risks and pitfalls associated with AI are broad and deep. And because it's evolving at such a rapid pace, we can't pinpoint what its impact will be in 10 years, 5 years, or even next month. Today, the question of ethics in AI is no longer an abstract concept, but an urgent need, and the journey to ethical AI is a collaborative effort. Governments, policymakers, industry experts, researchers, and technology companies must all work together to create frameworks and standards that ensure responsible AI practices in the development, design, and use of these technologies. So let's go over all the ethics pillars that we've learned so far. Fairness means that AI systems should not cause unfair outcomes or exhibit algorithmic bias towards individuals or groups. Privacy means that AI systems should protect the user's privacy and regulate the use of personal and sensitive information. Transparency and trustworthiness mean that the user should clearly understand the inner workings or decision-making processes of an AI system. And lastly, accountability means that those involved in the lifecycle of an AI technology should be held accountable for its ethical and legal impact. AI will continue to shape our future in exciting ways, and we can all play a role in doing that by being responsible AI users and developers. By understanding how AI systems work and staying informed on the consequences of AI technologies, we can all help contribute to an inclusive AI-driven world.